Midnight Confessions Act 3. The Brooklyn courtroom was filled with the hum of quiet anticipation. Journalists clicked pens and whispered to each other, while the jurors sat, hands folded, eyes alert, absorbing the tense atmosphere. Rain had returned in a light drizzle outside, streaking the tall windows with a hazy blur of city lights. Daniel Reeves sat beside Jordan Hayes, leaning back with his usual relaxed confidence. Across the aisle, the prosecutor, a sharp-eyed woman named Miranda Vale, meticulously organized her notes and glared at Daniel with the intensity of a general preparing for battle. The judge entered promptly at 10 a.m. Everyone rose. People vs. Jordan Hayes, Case 5-12083. Let us proceed. The gavel struck, commanding silence. Bailiff handed the case file to the judge, and Miranda Vale stood immediately to open her case. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Vale began, voice firm and controlled, on the night of December 10th, a man, Mr. Benjamin Carter, was found dead in his apartment on Monroe Street. Evidence at the scene and witness statements indicate that a person matching Mr. Hayes' description was present nearby at the time. The prosecution will show you that Mr. Hayes' proximity, coupled with inconsistent statements, creates a clear connection to this crime. The first witness she called was Officer Malik, one of the first on the scene. Sworn in under oath, he described the chaotic scene. The victim was on the living room floor, blood pooling beneath him. The apartment showed signs of struggle. The suspect, Mr. Hayes, was found nearby shortly after the 911 call, appearing anxious and evasive. Daniel raised a brow, voice soft but audible. Officer Malik, you said he appeared anxious. That's correct. Yes, Malik replied hesitantly. And anxious can mean many things, correct? Waiting in a drizzle outside, approached by uniformed officers. Stressful for anyone. Yes, but in conjunction with other factors, it can indicate involvement, Malik hedged. Daniel smirked faintly, allowing a hint of humor to touch the tense air. Ah yes, the assumption of guilt by anxiety, quite the reliable standard, I'd say. The courtroom gave a quiet, restrained chuckle. Vale's jaw tightened, her eyes narrowing on Daniel. Next, the prosecution introduced forensic evidence. A broken pendant found near the victim, and a partial footprint outside the building. Dr. Angela Marks, coroner, detailed the cause of death. The victim suffered multiple blunt force injuries to the head. Time of death is estimated between 11:40 and 11:50 p.m. There were no defensive wounds, suggesting the victim was taken by surprise. Daniel scribbled notes, allowing the prosecution to paint the full narrative. Spencer, observing quietly, noted the minor inconsistencies. The footprint size and where patterns didn't match Jordan, and the pendant could have been dropped during the struggle by someone else. Vale called a neighbor next, who testified to seeing a hooded figure running away from the apartment. I couldn't see the face, but the figure was tall, broad, and moved fast. Daniel stood immediately. Objection, Your Honor. This witness cannot identify my client. Their description is vague and speculative. Objection sustained, the judge said firmly. The jury will disregard any identification not directly observed by the witness. Vale pressed on, undeterred, calling a cab driver who claimed to see someone near Monroe Street around the estimated time. Daniel objected again on grounds of lack of definitive identification, and the objection was sustained. The prosecutor attempted to emphasize circumstantial evidence, referencing Jordan's nervousness, proximity to the scene, and inconsistencies in his initial statement to police. Each piece of her argument was methodical, precise, and designed to build a narrative of guilt from fragmentary observations. Daniel allowed each testimony and piece of evidence to land in the jury's minds without interruption, his calm, almost humorous demeanor serving to contrast with the intensity of Vale's approach. Spencer, meanwhile, took careful notes, cataloging points that would later be challenged, timing discrepancies, street camera footage gaps, and the unclear silhouette of the figure seen fleeing. As Vale presented her final witness, a security analyst reviewing nearby CCTV, Daniel noticed a crucial detail. The figure on camera did not match Jordan's stature. He filed this mental note for the upcoming defense. Vale's closing to the jury for the day was sharp and deliberate. Ladies and gentlemen, the evidence may be circumstantial, but it is compelling. Mr. Hayes was near the scene. He had no alibi verified by independent sources, and the testimony you've heard today paints a picture of someone present at the wrong place with potential motive. We ask you to carefully consider all factors and deliver justice for the victim. The gavel struck and the courtroom recessed for lunch. Daniel leaned toward Jordan. Kid, they've set the stage with a shadow story, footprints and nerves. But shadows can mislead, footprints can belong to others, and nerves? Well, nerves only matter when the truth is absent. Jordan exhaled, anxiety lingering but faint hope kindling. Do you really think we can prove it wasn't me? Daniel's grin was calm, almost teasing. Jordan, in this city the truth is a tricky thing, but we've got the tools. We just need patience, wit, and a little southern charm. The prosecution built a house of cards. Tomorrow we're going to see it tumble. Spencer added quietly, every assumption they've made has a flaw. Once we dissect their timeline, challenge their evidence, and show the shadow was someone else, reasonable doubt will take root. As the jurors filed out, the tension in the room lingered. Outside, Brooklyn carried on, unaware of the legal chess game playing out inside. Inside, Daniel, Spencer, and Jordan were ready to begin their defense, armed with sharp minds and relentless determination. The act closed on the lingering image of Jordan, pale but resolute, seated at the defense table as the rain drizzled against the courtroom windows, hinting at a storm of strategy and revelation yet to come.